I just wish I had, normal stuff over here. It's all good.
We're gonna get
Teams pad open.
it's 7:45, and so
Woohoo!
I think we're gonna go ahead and are we ready to get started?
Yeah, only
Oh,
four
let's do
people
it.
are interested in those prizes.
Yeah.
Mm-mm-mm.
And one thing I really like is that as you guys are joining, you now have access to the old messages in this chat, correct?
Mm-hmm.
That
Yes.
they that unlike Zoom where we have to keep resending it, so you can scroll up even if you're arriving late. Um, but welcome to our webinar, Touchdown with Teams. Please make sure you join the Schoology course when you get a chance, because there's lots of great information within this course that we're going to cover today during the webinar. So we're super happy to have you here, and we're excited to go over this new feature that Klein is now going to be using. And
Should we
so
introduce ourselves real fast? Because I gotta go get a dog a TR, EAT.
that's a good idea. Go ahead. You go first then.
I'll go first. And a lot of you probably already know me, Karen Goebel, Digital Learning. Okay. And I've been in the district for a long time. I'm gonna go give the dogs treats. I'll be right back.
I'm Kaylee Weemeyer. I'm also a program coordinator with Digital Learning.
And I'm Emily Nordhausen, and I'm also a program coordinator with Digital Learning. And so this is our Kicking It series. This is the second webinar we're having this school year. You can check out all of our webinars on our website. So these are recorded. You can send the recording to anyone that you would like once they get posted. And we're super happy you're here. So this is going to be all about teams. Make sure you register for prizes. This is right at the top. You can either use the link within the Teams chat, or you can use the link within the Schoology course. So we have some information why we've moved to Teams here, and this is a KNET post that was written by Leslie Garicani, who's the executive director for technology services over at IT. But he kind of explains a little bit about why we're switching to Microsoft Teams, and so you can read this when you get a chance. But this is replacing the Zoom application that we did have during COVID, but it does have a lot of extra features that Zoom does not have, really quite a few more. And so, but Zoom it's replaces everything that Zoom had. And so that really is why we're going to switch to use it. I'm going to get started with getting started with Teams. And so what is Teams? And this page is blank because what Teams is I'm just going to tell you right now that Teams is a way for you to communicate with your students, with your peers. It can be something that can be used during ARDS, and we are going to show you all of the features here today. So as I move to the next page, I'm going to show you about how to access Teams. Is really what is it? To discover that, we need to look at it together. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to show you going through the dashboard. So I'm going to open my dashboard and notice that I have it bookmarked up here. I highly recommend that you bookmark the dashboard. It makes your life a lot easier. And as I go, you're not going to look for Teams because Teams will not show up. What you're actually going to look for is right here, and this is Office 365 Suite, because Teams is part of all of Microsoft. So once I open the Office 365 Suite, I actually have all of my Microsoft applications. So you can see I have Outlook. So this is one way that you can get to your your email on the internet. You also have Teams here, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, OneNote, Forms, but we're going to go straight to Teams. So this would be the first way that you are able to access Microsoft Teams. This would be the online version of Teams. And then the other way to access Teams is just to go through the desktop application. So you would come down to the little magnifying glass and you would just type Teams, and Microsoft Teams will show up. If you're not seeing Microsoft Teams when you search for it on your computer, the person that you would want to contact would be your digital learning specialist so that they can help you access the application. So those are two ways to use it. Today, I'm going to be going through the web browser. And now we're going to look at some settings. So the settings that I'm going to show you today, and this page should not be blank, is I'm going to show you about the privacy settings, including the do not disturb, which doesn't allow people to message you. They get a little message that comes up that prevents messages from coming through. So if you're in an important meeting and you don't want messages coming repeatedly, you can change your status. I'm going to talk about notifications, so how you can change those settings. And the devices. So this is if you have an extra pair of headphones, or if you have a different microphone that you want to use, a different webcam, how to change out which of those devices are connected and being used through Teams. So I'm going to jump over to Teams, and if I go into the right-hand corner right up here, I see my picture, and I'm actually set right now to presenting because that is what I'm doing right now. Someone just asked, is there a benefit of accessing Teams? Really, maybe, unless Karen or Kaylee disagree, I don't really see a difference. They seem to.
I'm going to say I do.
Oh, you
And
okay?
I'm going
Karen
to say
disagrees.
why, because the setting, I find it more user friendly. The desktop version. I really prefer it after this experience tonight. The other thing, Crystal, that I've noticed, and Emily, what I just sent you all a picture, you are
Okay.
not in the desktop version, you are in front of your presentation, but in the web version, you are down with all the other people. Just like,
Okay.
so it's not that's different as well.
Okay. Okay, so Karen thinks it's a little easier. I haven't noticed anything, but maybe start with the desktop application that from Karen's experience is a little bit more user friendly.
It's great preference too, but I do prefer the desktop version. I guess it's just to each person, what they're going to prefer. But after tonight, I will say I prefer the desktop
I have to
version.
say, I was talking to Rochelle earlier, before this webinar, and Rochelle, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe you said something about teachers who are doing ARDS, if they are signing the document, they have to be in the application and not the web browser. Can you just put in the chat if that's correct or incorrect?
I'm trying to find where we can, I'm gonna allow her mic. Okay, I just allowed her mic. No, did I?
Oh, she's
thought I
gonna
did.
talk. Oh, she said it's correct.
Okay, well, that's definitely good to know. So any signing documents, and that would definitely might be something you share with your campus, that that they would need to be in the desktop application.
I think there's more functionality, the same that we see with Outlook. I know a lot of teachers
Mhm.
like the Office 365 Outlook version. I prefer the desktop. So I think there's always going to be more functionality in the application version versus the web version.
And I think it
That's a
depends
good
of
preference.
which features you're using. So for me, that I predominantly have just been using the chat. And so for me, if you're just using the chat, there really isn't too much of a difference. But okay, Rochelle's sharing more information that the presenter can only give control to people in the app. And so there do seem to be
That's
more
another
benefits.
biggie.
That really is a big one.
Yeah.
So
Well,
right
that
now
could
I
be a
am
problem for me later. So I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
we'll find out.
Y'all are just driving the whole thing tonight.
Up here in my corner where I see my picture, you do have these 3 dots here. And this, I have not noticed any difference here because I did compare it before our webinar, the settings. So these settings should be the same in the desktop and the Windows application. But when I click on settings, the first thing is the theme of your Teams. And so I can change it to dark. And so you should have just seen my screen get dark. So if you really don't like your screen being very bright, this might be something that you want to change. You can also do high contrast, and so that gives you just a different view. But I prefer the default. You can also change the chat density. So basically this just has them popped out, and then the compact version just has them in rows. And so it's whatever you prefer, but I prefer the comfy layout. for my chat. And then you have the grid and list, and these are just some changes that you can go through here. You do have the language here that you can change if necessary. But I'm going to jump down to privacy. And one thing that this do not disturb here. So if you turn on do not disturb, it means that people cannot send you a message while you are set to do not disturb. So they get a message and then it doesn't interrupt whatever meeting you're having. But if there's certain people, so for example, my boss, that is very important, I need them to be able to send me a message at any time, no matter where I am, I can click manage this priority access and I can add anyone's name. So I might add my boss so that she can still message me even while I am set to do not disturb. So the way you set yourself to do not disturb is not within the 3 dots in setting. It's actually you select your picture and you click where it normally says available. It'll say busy if you're in a meeting. So if you have something on your calendar, but you set it to then do not disturb. And so notice now a message came up, your status is set to do not disturb. You'll only get notifications for urgent messages and from your priority contacts. And I can click here to change those settings, but I'm going to switch back.
That question that came in, truthfully, I would not really trust translation apps to be the best. I would always have an interpreter if that's possible in an ARD, just because as Emily, as a former language teacher, knows, it does not always translate it correctly, and mistakes can be made. In ARD, I don't think I'd take that chance.
And what's going to happen is, so I'm going to change this. And I believe, I'll have to restart. This is the language of my app. It's not going to translate what I'm typing. And so this will change my content, not the content being presented. So it changes the app, not the content that I'm typing. I mean, whatever you type or say will just be what you say or type it in the language that you type it or say it.
Yeah.
So I'll go back. Let me go back to English because I don't want to restart.
No.
But I'm going to go down to notifications. And this is important because if you don't want to be notified or to change your message, the previews, if you want to play the sound for incoming calls and notifications, I like this. I'm often wearing my headphones, but this might be something that you want to turn off. And then the last thing is under files, you can decide how the file opens. And those are, I believe, let me go back and make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, yep. So, and under privacy, there's one more that I have here, that making sure the keyboard shortcut is if you use keyboard shortcuts, there is one to unmute, because in meetings, you don't want to just have your mic on all the time. You want to stay. If there's a lot of people, you might want to be muted. And a quick shortcut, that Control plus spacebar, will unmute your mic temporarily. So while you hold it down, so that you can speak. And I like that feature. And I do have a little GIF here that shows you how to change your status to do not disturb. And so those are the team settings that you might want to look at on your team. So just a reminder, the way you get there is by clicking the 3 dots in the right-hand corner. Okay. So the next part that we're going to talk about today is the chat, which for me is the biggest thing that I use in Teams.
We use it daily, nonstop.
And so Kaylee, are you doing this section, or Karen? It's Kaylee, right? Kaylee, do you want to share, or do you want me to keep driving?
Oh, she's muted.
Control space
Yeah,
bar.
sorry, I muted myself. Yeah, you can keep driving. That's fine.
Okay.
All right. So inside that folder, the chat, we've got just a couple of things here. So I really wanted to show you the layout of what chat looks like. And so this is a great little graphic that I made that kind of shows you where everything is. But Emily, do you just want to pull open the chat? Just pull that onto the screen.
Yeah. This. Okay.
Yeah. So here is our chat. And so you can see that over on the left-hand side, we have all of the previous chats or the chats going on. And like Emily said, if you missed it earlier, when you join a chat or a Teams meeting, you can see the chat that was previous before you joined. So you can scroll back and look what was said prior to you joining, which I do really like.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I also really like the that I can just search anybody and start a chat with them. And the way I would start a chat is in the top. Maybe Emily, can you hover your mouse, or maybe let me request control.
Okay. So Kaylee's actually controlling my
Ooh,
computer screen
okay,
right
yeah.
now, which is kind of a cool feature.
And you see my picture, that old Klein
It's
picture.
it's super cute.
So right here, this little button is where I can click and I can start a chat. And all I have to do is type somebody's name to start that chat. Okay. Some other features that I want to show you is that anytime you share a file, a link in the chat, it's going to be right here in the files. And that's kind of where it lives permanently. So you can go and you can look here in the files. You can also click on those files and then download them to your computer if you wish. So that it's really up to you, but any files that are sent in a chat, you can access through that files tab at the top. Okay. Something else that I want to show you is over here. Right now, I can see that there are 10 people in this chat on the meeting. Okay, and so if I wanted to add more, I can just click the little people with the plus button, and I can type in somebody's name to add them to this chat. Okay, and then of course down here at the very bottom is where you can type your message. But what I really love is all of the features down here at the bottom. So, and that's kind of the next part of the inside the Schoology course is my 10 Teams chat tips. So I love that you can send praise, and it's this little ribbon.
I'm sorry, I just want to go quickly show where those were right in here.
Okay, so it's this little ribbon right here. So if I click on that ribbon, I can send praise to someone. And it's a little slow for me right now.
Maybe it's because you're controlling her computer.
Probably because I'm controlling her computer, yes.
Yeah.
Let me stop control.
Oh, I see. Okay, there it loads.
There
okay.
it is. So if you will click down, you can decide what kind of praise you want to send. So maybe it's you want to tell somebody thank you for being awesome, and you can type in that person's name, and then you can type in an optional message and then click send. And then that person will get the praise, and you guys can see it right there in the chat.
There it is. It's cute. I love stickers.
Really cool.
Who doesn't love stickers?
One thing about Teams is they are so cute. Like these, I don't know, these emojis, there's just something about them that
they're animated, unlike when your phone.
Very cute.
But what I like about the praise is right here, you can review your praise history. So you can go in, if you're having a really bad day, you need to feel really good, you can go in and review your praise history. Another thing that I like, as far as I'm a very organizational person, I love to be organized. I like to make lists and scratch things off or check things off. And so what is really big for me is the loop components. It is the fourth icon from the left. Yes, thank you. Click on that one for me. And so I can create a checklist, a table, a task list. So a lot of the times, Karen, Emily, and I are planning, and so we'll create a task list. So yeah, click on that for me. And so we can create a task. We can assign it to anybody that's in the chat. and then we can give it a due date just so that we kind of stay on task, keep our deadlines, and kind of know who is in charge of what task.
So think
So-
about PLCs. This would be a great place to put lots of your PLC minutes and
Am I
notes
misspelling
and
Miss-
things. What?
I was looking for Maureen, so Maureen may have to type her last name.
Whitney.
Yeah. Or you can put an at in front of it and
That
it should
must-
help populate.
Maybe I need to type it like this. Let's see. So it's there.
There
Oh,
she-
there.
There she
I was gonna
is.
say there she is.
There we go. I just had to do the at symbol first. Okay. Then I
Yeah.
select a date and then task. Have a great day.
Oh, yay! Give her the easy one. Yay!
But what's also really great is that this can be collaborative as well. So you can have multiple people typing on it at the same time. Okay,
I went ahead and sent it.
perfect. So Emily, will you send something in the message real quick? In the chat. And so what I love about this is sometimes I get to typing so fast and I send something on accident and I don't mean to. So I can recall that message just by clicking the up arrow. So the little arrows at the bottom of your keyboard, if you just click that up arrow, it will recall it. And then you can retype your message or correct any mistakes that you might have made if you were speed typing.
It only
I love
works if
that.
you do it on that message. You can't go way up and
Exactly.
get like
It's just for the message that you just sent. Okay. And nobody else can send a message right after you because then it won't work. Okay.
I love that. So
Another thing Emily kind of already touched on is the smiley faces, the emojis, but I love the stickers and the GIFs. And so you can see a little icon for the GIFs right there. And so you can search. I love doing the happy birthday ones. Yes, celebrate. And so you can send some celebration GIFs. What I also love is the little stickers. It's the little square smiley face. And so then you can search for stickers as well. And so I love that, especially when you're on a chat with a group. And you want to keep things kind of lighthearted. It's really great.
love it.
Love the little customization.
it's not actually Karen's birthday, but
No.
just send me that
Not till
message.
It's not June yet.
Thank goodness.
About
Don't
just
need any more
practicing.
birthdays yet.
Another feature that I love is you can pop out the conversation. So if I were to right click on the title of the conversation on the left-hand side, I can actually pop this out so that it's in a new window. Except I'm not seeing it here when you click. That might be because you are in the web version and not the application.
I have both.
I think
I have both open.
Okay.
Let's see.
so. You're in web version on that screen right there.
Yes, that's the web version.
No, I have both open, and so I pop out is not an option.
That's odd
I
because
saw
I
it
have.
pop out somewhere.
Yeah, I was able to pop out when I made this.
Yeah. Weird. Well, we'll get back with y'all on that one.
That's interesting.
Oh, Rochelle might have
Oh.
the answer. She's typing.
We
Yeah,
have
pop out. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
Don't
I don't know what
where-
it is about y'all two. Y'all don't have the right settings.
It's the web version. Stick
Because
with the desktop.
I have the file downloads. Y'all don't have that.
Yeah, we're jinxed. I don't know.
So another thing is I like pinning a conversation. So you can actually pin a conversation or a message. So I like to pin my my important chats. Like, so I pinned my chat between Karen, Emily, and I at the top because it's the one I've used the most often. So you can pin a
Good idea.
conversation, but you can
Smart. I need to do
also
that.
I
you
hadn't
can
done that
also
yet.
pin a
neither.
message. So if you right click on a message, an actual message in a chat, you can pin that as well. Okay.
Yeah, I've used that one before. I like the save button we were playing
Yes, I
with
was
earlier.
actually about to get to that. So if you right click on a message, you can also save it. So if you right click, click save this message, okay, it's going to save it. Now you can access your saved messages. So if it's a message that you find, oh, this is super important, I want to make sure I'm able to access this at any point in time, I can go up to my profile picture. Emily, can you click on your profile picture there and click saved? And that will pull up your saved messages. And then you just click on it on the left-hand side and it takes you to that message in the conversation.
Yep. I like how it doesn't matter how far it's been, it'll find that message you hit save on. I love it.
Yeah, I love that. I also like the at mentions. So if I am in a big group chat and I just need to call out one person, I can put a little at symbol in front of them, type their name, and be like, hey, don't forget to send me XYZ. Okay. Yes, and you can even do it by just typing their name as well.
I don't know. I'm just. I don't know. I don't know what to say.
And then the last thing I want to show you is, oh, I skipped the format text. That's like the best part, but we'll go back to that. The exclamation point at the bottom will set your urgency. So I can make it important. I can make it urgent. And so those urgent ones are the ones that come through while you are on Do Not Disturb.
Ah.
I'll tell you, it's so hard to type because my husband has this keyboard. There are no characters on it.
Oh my God. I'd be in trouble.
So I'm trying really hard to type my husband Bill's keyboard.
I
So.
would be in trouble on that one.
Okay. Emily, will you click the format text, the A with the pencil? I love this feature because now we can really customize our text, and I love that I can link things. So like I can send a hyperlink in just the word here, or I can title it, I can highlight something and hyperlink it like I would in a Google Doc or an email. And so I love that I can bold things, I can change the colors. I have all these text formatting things that I can do.
How long had we been in here before we thought to click on that and we're like, oh my goodness, game changer.
Yes. And here's the great thing too, is when you're in the format text, you can actually just hit enter and it won't send, it'll just give it a new line.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I really love as well.
Yep. Many a time I have, I've accidentally sent something when I meant to just get another line.
Yes, exactly. And that's when you need that up arrow to recall that message.
That's right. That's right.
But that is kind of chat in a nutshell. It's kind of all the little fun features to chat. So Karen, do you want to take it over with calls and meetings?
Yeah, I'm just sitting here thinking, let's see how we do with Emily driving, and I'll just chat away, I guess, over here. Okay, so we're now going to look at so this has been great, but how do we set up these meetings? So the first thing, go ahead and open that up. When we start a meeting, in the desktop version, you open your chat. They actually are pretty much the same. There's one thing though you can do if you're in a chat, like if Emily and all of us were in a chat, I don't have to leave that chat. That first picture shows that there's a little calendar down there. So without me even leaving the chat, I can click that little calendar button down here at the bottom, and I can set up an appointment. Is it not showing for you?
Yeah, I'm wondering. I don't see
Well,
it
I didn't make this up. I did just. Okay.
No, it is there. It's
It's
just
there. It's
because we
Emily's.
are in a webinar right now, so it's
Of
not
course.
going to show
It's
in
not
that
going to
chat.
show, because I took this picture myself. Okay, so that's one way. But the one that we use the most is where we open the app or we go to the desktop
Let me go.
and we click over there on calendar. And when we click that, then we go to the top right hand corner. And before you click new meeting, click that meeting, click the little drop down. Because what we did for this one, you all, was we actually selected webinar so that we could like mute everyone's mics and do those sorts of things. And that's also how we got you all to register. So that's a great thing to know about. If you just always just click that new meeting, you're going to just get the regular meeting features. So using that little drop down is how you get to the webinar version of this. Okay.
Do you want me to go ahead and schedule a meeting? New meeting?
You know what? Go ahead and see, yeah, if it will let us. Okay. And then once you fill, this is where you're going to fill everything out. You just put people in. Now, if you plan to add co-organizers, because like all of us are organizers and presenters on here, you have to make them a required attendee when you set up this meeting, or when you get to the part where you have to add the organizers, you're not going to have, they're not going to show. So they do have to be in as a required, not an optional, but they have to be in as a required attendee. And then once you get all of this set up with the time, the date, everything you need, when you hit that save button, does it say save or send? Or when it says send up there, it just automatically sends through Outlook because this is connected. It's Microsoft and they're connected. It will automatically send them the calendar invite and the email with all the information for the meeting. To add the co-organizer, so open that one back up now, click on it. You're going to go back in, you're going to say edit. So let's say we decided to add them up there at the top where it says meeting options across there. Go the other way. There we go. This is where you go after you create the meeting to add your optional presenter. So right there where it says choose co-organizers. See how it down at the bottom? Oh, right there.
I was jumping to what I thought was important. Who can bypass the lobby?
Yes, that
All right,
one. Yeah, we have our set up, so we let you on. Okay, there you go. So click the drop down. Do you see how they're in there? All right. So then who can present? This is where you're going to go. Oh, the big one for us, because we do these as trainings and we want to keep the, of course, my battery saver is now on. That's bizarre. I may have to stop here a second and go get the battery. Is to allow the camera. You know what, Kaylee? Somebody, it's probably going to die on me. Will y'all continue talking? Just talk for just a second while I grab my cord.
Yeah, sure.
All right, so this is something you're going to want to test out, and you need to think: are you doing this with students? Or are you doing this with, if you're doing this as a PLC, using this for a meeting, you would definitely not probably turn the mic off or the camera. But that would be this is where those features are, allowing that meeting chat, allowing those reactions, and then we have the Q&A and the captions here, and then we have not messed with this, that someone else was asking about language interpretation, but we have not really gone into that yet. So it's definitely something for us to look into.
Thank you. That's what's nice about having co-presenters. The other thing is when the batteries are about to die.
And I like turning on the record automatically so you don't have
Yes.
to think about recording it in the moment. But you will have to
So-
go into each meeting option for each meeting that you create and turn that on.
The other thing is the record button is not like, because it looks like she's in the web version or I'm in the web version. But to find that record, it would be nice. This is one drawback, I think, because in Zoom, I could just see it right there. You have to click on the three dots that say more and do the drop down and go find the record button. And we've done it before where we've forgotten to record. So we like it where we can set it to automatically record.
And then
Alright.
don't forget to always press save to whatever settings you set up.
Yeah, it's not Google. so you're gonna have to say save. Yeah.
I do like changing this in here, the options of the response option. So if you're requesting responses, if you want it to be forward, I feel like that is something definitely worth noting,
Mhm.
because maybe this is a meeting you do not want forwarded. So I feel like that is a really important setting, just to be aware of.
Right. Yep. Okay, so then now let's go to look at video for just a second. And Emily was showing you a little bit earlier when she was doing it, because there are some settings you can do for this. So, oops,
Already
it's
went through that.
yeah, we already did all that.
Let me go back to the folder.
It's
Okay.
in the next folder. There we no,
This one?
go into meeting, go back into meeting, create a meeting. The
Oh, there we
next
go.
folder there. There we go. So one thing is how we got these wonderful backgrounds in here.
Mhm.
When you join a meeting, the first thing you're going to do is when it asks you to set the video, can you go back to that? There's a
Oh.
picture of the button. There we go. See there? So as you're getting ready to turn it on, right underneath there where it says background filters, right?
There are a
Filters.
lot of cute ones.
You click that, and that's where you can set it to blur, or you can set it so it's right here. Another important thing to note right here is isn't that where it says computer audio? So you can turn on if you're planning to play music, if you're planning to play YouTube or anything or any videos throughout, you do want to make sure that you have the computer audio coming through as well and turn that on.
And that
Before
was the
you
same as Zoom. Zoom had to have
Yep.
that turned on, and so Teams does as well.
Right. Okay. So, and let's see, and the rest was just about blur. Okay. So the next thing is about these controls. And so they're hard to see because and and I will tell you, somebody was asking another difference. I do not have any of these, or I have a few of these. I don't have the ability to do any reactions. I don't have breakout rooms showing. I can't do any of that. But so the web version does not have all of those little features that you're seeing on this one right here.
Mhm.
But let's see, the room one and the app one is only available to organizers and presenters. So um, the participants are not going to have that. But I love that hovering over the reaction button, being able to do that. Also, that more button is where you can, if you forget to apply a filter, that's where you go back in to get back into those filters after it's already started. And let's say you decide you need to change the room or the background, that you can get to that through that. That's also where you find the recording button. It's not just up there at the top where you can easily see it. Also, toggling over the camera and the mic will give you an option to turn it on and off and that sort of thing. Okay. Scroll on down. I'm trying to see what else is next here. Oh yeah, sharing the screen. So Emily kind of gave a little preview of this a minute ago when she was doing it. When you go and share, do you see that part that is in purple with presenter mode? So there's 4 different presenter modes. The very first one is blank. It's just sharing your screen. That's all they're going to see is just the screen.
Mhm.
Emily was using the second one, but now what's interesting on my version, I could not see it, even though I knew because I have another computer going here that
Mhm.
that's what she had done. That one's called Standout. Is it that what it's called? I think Standout.
Stand out. Yeah.
Yeah, Standout. So I like that one because it puts the whole presentation behind you and it has you kind of in front, like you're a newscaster to me.
And Karen, let me just pause you 1 second.
Go
I
ahead.
just saw a pop-up that just came up that said, your meeting has 5 minutes left. And so I do like that's something different from Zoom, that because this is timed, it just came up on my screen. Um,
It doesn't, but that is a cool.
and
I
that's
like that.
I was just gonna pause you because that was a cool feature that just came up because the time
I
is
like it.
8:25. Okay, keep going, Karen. I just want to
Oh,
mention
I like
that.
it. No. But anyway, on those controls up there, the side by side is kind of cool because it puts you, and it kind of shows you in the little picture. It'll show a square and then you next to it. So you could, if you had a slideshow, a presentation, it would be like right next to it. Oh, Emily's got it going.
And this is the
Yeah, Emily.
reporter.
Yes. Oh, the reporter. And then there's these side by side. And I think on the side by side, you can toggle it from right and left side of the screen. I don't have those options because I'm on the
Am I
web
flipping?
version.
Y'all see me flipping?
Yes, you
She's
are
flipping.
I
She's
think this
flipping.
is my better side though, as I'm comparing. I think this one, you'll have to decide for yourself. You'll have to go and test it out.
I think so. But on the web version, you don't flip at all. How's that?
All
work?
right, y'all have convinced me. The desktop version is much better. I was saying there was no difference, that in my opinion, but now there were all right. I agree.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So go on because I want to do one real quick thing with the annotation. So that's
Okay.
a really pretty much the video sections, but here's another cool little feature. So Emily, go ahead and share your screen and do the whiteboard. This is a great option for if you want to put a link to a Microsoft chat in Schoology and get the kids all on a whiteboard. This would be a great way for you to do that as well.
Okay. Everyone can actually annotate.
Yes. Well, it depends. That's what I was kind of hoping to see, but I can't see the features. But
Right now, I see that I don't know if y'all can see that everyone can you see this?
Right.
Oh no, it's not popping up for you all, but I can see everyone can annotate, and
You
it
can
says
turn
you
it
can
on or off,
stop
correct?
others from editing the whiteboard at any time
yes.
in the settings menu.
Yes. So go ahead and let us. Can you give us control? How come I
Yes, so
can't-
someone is who's typing or not typing, writing.
I don't even have a board. Who is that?
And I love this is the laser pointer.
Okay, so
Oh,
how come? Okay, so here you all go.
all
I
right,
can't
there's a
do this. I'm on the web. Do y'all all have that option? Not me.
oh. And my son just ran it. Teo, tiene que salir. No. No.
So I can't take control, but maybe Kaylee can because I can't do that on the web.
No, my request control button is grayed out. She did
Oh,
something.
okay. All right. And I do have a clear all annotations button, and I'm going to take a quick snip.
But what's
And-
weird is I cannot annotate.
It must be the web
So
version.
it's I don't have that ability. So I think I'm more and more I'm liking this desktop version of this. What are you doing?
I was going to take a quick screenshot of that, but I'm going to turn annotation off.
Okay. Y'all, we have 2 minutes, so we got
I
to
think
go.
we've
because they've
discovered
got to-
so much in this webinar that we should probably make a comparison chart between
might.
the web version and the app.
I think you're right. I do. After playing with it, I am team desktop version because I didn't get to play like you all did on some of the features, but that's good to know.
So I
Mhm.
did see when I tried to request control that you cannot in annotation mode.
Mm-hmm. And this is something we need to play with too, because I had mentioned about a whiteboard in chat. Would the kids we'll have to play with that. Would they be
Yes.
able to annotate? I'm pretty sure they could because, but that's good. These are all good questions. Yes. Once the recording has been processed, It is available for 30 days, Crystal, but you can change that. You can change the delete. That's another thing I did like that with Zoom where they didn't delete automatically. This one is 30 days, but we usually go in and adjust that setting and change it. But I do like that the recording automatically goes to all the participants. The good, the bad, the
And
ugly.
just so you know, the
So what just came in the chat is I had pressed the 3 dots at the bottom and you have apps there that you can use. And
I
so
love it.
I quickly sent you a poll and I just searched for poll and I want to know, are you using the desktop application or the web version? So
Web version doesn't have a poll. I'm gonna say right now, I'm back to desktop
oh,
because
so nothing. So Karen, you
nothing
didn't get that
came up
message
for
in the
me.
chat?
Nothing.
I did.
Now I
got it.
can do it in the chat, but what's weird is there I can do it, but on my other computer here, I also have it on the screen.
Okay,
In
so
this one, I don't have it here at all. I would have to open the chat. Let me open my chat and see if it's there. Yes,
it
it
did
is.
it got sent in the chat.
It did get sent in the
Yes.
chat on this one. I have it I don't have it open here because it takes up some of the screen, but on the desktop version, it came in both places. I didn't have to look in the chat to find it. It was on the screen.
Yeah, I got it on the screen and I got it in the chat.
I'm voting in both places for
I did too.
desktop.
So it seems like pretty much everyone was using the desktop application. So it is nice that it is on your work computer. It does have more features. I agree. Y'all convinced me it's worth it to be on the desktop.
It's worth it. It is.
If you are just using chat though, really quickly, I think the web version is fine. That's what I mostly use it for. But if you're having these meetings, and especially think about if you're PLCing with people that are on different campuses,
Oh, I love
this
that.
would be a great way for you to have ongoing conversations that don't just end in the video, that you could have this you could have a meeting, but then the chat continue.
I love that, Emily, that they could be collaborating with other great or other campuses and sharing files because of that file feature, because once you share it in there, then they
And
can
I
just
know
go up
I saw Grace in here who is a librarian. So I know that a lot of people do use workplace chat, but this would be a great place to have groups for the librarians to talk and share resources with each other. Definitely something that maybe y'all could explore. But we should definitely do prizes.
Maybe we should move all of our digital learning people over to a Teams. Okay, I'm going to go to prizes.
I really quick want to address about the recordings is that you do get a notification when a recording is about to expire. So if you forgot to adjust that setting of more than 30 days, you'll get that notification. Hey, it's about to expire. You can go in and reset that, or you can just let it expire if it's not something you need, or if you've already downloaded it.
And I'm going to tell you what we're going to do because very few filled it out. We're just going to send a prize to everyone who filled out the form.
I think that's a really good idea.
Yep.
All right, y'all, and especially. Oh, wait, the survey. Did we tell them?
Oh, at the very bottom of the course. And so I'll share my screen once more real quick. I'm zoomed in. There is a survey. And so in Klein now, for any not asynchronous, but any so webinar or in person. I just saw small groups librarians work. Absolutely. But this survey is just something that the professional learning team is now having us give to educators that attend our sessions that are live or webinars. So it is 8:34. So we're not asking you to do this tonight, but when you do get a chance, please, we would love feedback on this session, and you can access it just by clicking on the picture and scrolling through. And it actually fills out a lot for you in the drop down. So it's not too hard. It's not like you have to search through a long list because they are each code is unique. And so Thank you so much for attending. If you have any questions, you can reach out to any of us. We're definitely learning more, so we will be releasing more information. The more Teams really is a big program, so the more we learn about it, we'll definitely share with our campuses. So thanks again for coming, and hope you all have a great night.
Yeah,
Thank
we'll
you,
stay on
guys.
for a few minutes in case anybody has a question. Yes. Yeah, Grace, this would be great for y'all to use with librarians. And a quick video you could chat with each other. I love it. Oh, look, somebody already learned about the stickers.
Thank you, Deepa. Love it.
Deepa. Thank you, Deepa.
Hey, Grace, I'll see you tomorrow. Be at